Hi, welcome to the new video. Right now, I will continue drawing the rest of the parts, which is the hand and the glasses and the halo. Okay, let's start with the glasses and the halo first. Let me move it on the top. Like I want to draw these parts, right? Now, the thing is, for something, let me put blank. Okay, just gonna put white layer just so you can focus on the glasses and the halo. As you can see here, both of the halo and the glasses lens have the same overall shape. That is, it's both flat and thin. And in this case of shape or silhouette, the same case with the tattoo, what we are gonna do, instead preparing the object in the angle that already affected by perspective, we will instead draw it on the shape that haven't affected by any deformation yet. So we will try to draw the object in the angle that let us see all the surface perfectly. And in this case, the halo, we will draw it on the top view. So it will be look like this for the assets. And for the glasses, we will draw it from the front view. The glasses lens, I mean. So instead of drawing and preparing the glasses lens on this perspective, we will just draw it on the front view, and later on After Effects, we will adjust the position, the angle, and the perspective to our own original plan, like this. If you still confused on when to apply this method, like what condition that require us to use this technique, then you need to review the shape of the object. If it's have flat and thin shape, then it is far better to prepare the drawing on the preview with the least amount of distortion. Let me give you some other example. The first two objects that I want to use as an example is the fan, because fan also have that thin flat surface. And if you input the assets like this to After Effects, it's really easy to just, deform the angle, the perspective, the shape. Like you can easily animate it like this. So it is far better to input the file on front view. Like you can see all the surface clearly. Okay? The other example is like butterfly wings. Like even though this is not my original plan of shape, but if you can easily adjust it on like After Effects like this. So you can just animate it later. So there is actually a reason why we need to apply this technique. And the reasons is like in the condition when you import your assets to After Effects. You see, when you import the files into After Effects, like PNG image or JPEG or Photoshop files, they will always remember the original state of your assets when you import it in. So no matter how much you deform it later, you can always go back to the original form without any downgrade to the quality, because it will be always remember the original state. Now, with that theory, just say you have a card in here, and then you want it to be animated in the position A to position B repeatedly. Like you want the card to be like rotating the angle from side A to side B. Now, probably you have a question, then when which one of the view I need to prepare when I input the assets to After Effects. Is it on the side A or side B? Because I want it to keep changing the view between A and B. Now, in the theory I explained to you before, then it will be A, right? But here I will show you the reason why. Let's compare it with the B card. So, the A card is I import the file, the assets to the After Effects with this shape, with this view, on front view. And this is the B card is I import the file with already in the condition of view B. So this is both their original state, the original assets, both look like this, okay? And now I will try to change the card angle in the card A to card B. So probably something like this, trying to match to make it as similar. Okay, now as you can see, there is no problem, right? Both look the same. The quality pretty much look the same. But in the case of card B that imported in this shape, when I try to change to deform it to angle A, then you can see the difference of quality, because the original state is already deformed too much. I mean, when you try to stretch it to the front view, the quality will be downgrade. And in the case of card A, I can change the view to front with no problem, because the front view is the original form. And files that imported to After Effects will always remember the original form. That is why it is better to make the original form have the condition where all the surface is shown on the first place. With that preparation, you can have more freedom and flexibility when deforming your image, because you didn't need to worry about the quality if it deformed too much. Like as you can see, in the card condition of A, you can like change the angle without worrying the quality or something decrease. But if I do it on the card B, then it will be a huge problem, because it's not prepared for too much deformation. Hopefully my explanation is clear enough. We will go back to our on progress file. Okay, so now for the case of the hello, I will write as hello. I will just provide it like this. I didn't want to make the halo too details too, since I don't want it distract the character too much. Just a little bit shading, and then this will be our halo assets. So we will just adjust it later when animation process starts. Now for the glasses, let me prepare new folder named glasses. Okay, what I'm gonna do is also the same. I will just make a wrong. Okay, I will just provide circle about the correct size like this, and then I will just give it a little bit color shift. I will just merge this and this. So we are going to get 1 and this as 2. Now I will later just copy paste the left and right, so I only make one for now. But the reason I separate the red part and the frame is because later the red part will be changed into multiply. So if you want to make something like that, then you need it to be separated, because if you merge all the glasses into one folder, if I merge it, then it's only either can be normal layer or all of it need to be multiplied like this. That's why if some parts need to be multiply, but you don't want the rest to be changed, the blending style, then you need to separate that layer. So only the red one will be multiply, and this, the frame, will be normal layer. I will change the name to frame 2 and frame 1. So frame 2 will be these parts. Let me draw it for you. So I will also provide it like this instead. And later we will just also copy the left and right. So I only make one for now. So this part, I will also separate it into something like this, because I will just later adjust it. And then chain. For the glasses chain, I will use this. Wait, let me check. Oh, okay, this one. And just provide it like this. And then for the left one, I think I will just separate the front and back. As you can see here, like the form is this, right? The shape is looking like this. But the thing is, if you just provide the chain with that kind of shape, something like if you provide it like this, then when you animate it, then it will be look merged like this, but it shouldn't look like that, because one chain supposed to be on front and one chain supposed to be on the back. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna separate the chain, one chain on the front and one chain on the back. So in the case of like the right chain in here, I don't need to separate it because it just there's no overlapping parts of the chain. But in this case that there is overlapping part like this, I will just to put the chain into 2 layers. So it will be look like this. This is front side and this is back side. That way, even though I animate the front, it will be looks more natural than if you just merge both parts on the same layer, because there will be no depth if you just merge it. Now for there is heart accessories on the chain, right? I will also separate it. because I think I will play with the color and shape. So this will be like crystal. I will also just copy paste it with the left side, so I will just draw one part for now. So now we already have the glasses layer. Of course, now the glasses looks really weird, but since this is an asset, not it's actually actual finished preview. It is normal if we just want to make sure it's prepared on better view. It is normal if the assets preview still look weird, as long as it will help you animate better. If I make it like this, is it too much? Let me check. No, I think it's fine. Let's just make it look like this. Now the only left is the hand. Oh, we also haven't drawn the chain, but it is okay. Just gonna... Okay, for the case of the hand, like I already provide a lot of bleed, so I will just draw all the hand. Let me hide the rest of layer first so it didn't disturb us. I also suggest if in the case of hand, it's better to draw it on straight preview like this, like rather than provide the hand on some angle like this. It's better to draw it in straight angle like we will doing now, because it's easier to you to deform it. You actually can draw it on certain angle, but in the asset preparation, you will end up need to rotate the hand to the straight view. So you can either do that or just rotate your sketch like I do and trace it on the straight view. So you didn't need to rotate it later. Because I know some artists didn't like to rotate the art since the quality will drop. but for me the drop of quality is not too much, so usually fine with it. Now what I'm gonna do is I will separate it into several assets. Like for now, I will separate it into the clothes. So the upper arm will consist on the arm, and I think I will just merge it with the thumb. Okay, let me imagine it. Okay, I think yes, I will just merge it with the thumb. In the case of hands, it is indeed really tricky because usually we kinda hard to grasp the kind of animation we want to do for the hand because it's really complex, but it's okay. We can just draw it for now. Okay, something like this for the thumb. And then I will make this as palm. Oh, supposed to be named the folder. Again, there is no rules in separating assets for the hand. The more details you separate it, the more parts you can animate. But we will just see if we can just make it as efficient as possible. So I will separate these parts too. Okay, these parts. Okay, and then we do the fingers one by one. Now I name it I'm in the middle of thinking if I should separate it into two parts or not. I think I didn't separate it into two parts, but I will just provide the blade more than supposed to do. Like, I will just draw this part longer than I intended. So we can have like safety measurements like this, and then I make a new color layer, new layer name ring and nail like this. So I can just draw. So we can have like safety measurements like this, and then I make a new color layer, new layer name ring and nail like this. So I can just draw the nail and then the rings. So it will be like this and like this. There is 2 layers on it. Next is the ring finger. Let's make it 2 as 1, the line art. And then name it again as ring and nail, which will provide from the ring. Now middle finger. So depends on your animation tool. If you want to animate the finger in more details, then you probably need to end up to separate all the segment of the each fingers. Like, but wait, let me finish the line art and let me show you the example. In case you want to animate the fingers in more detail, then there's a possibility you need to divide it. For the example, in the case of the middle finger, you will need to end up to separate it into these parts, and then these parts, and then these parts. That didn't include the nails and the rings. It need to be separated too. So if you separate it into 1, 2, and 3 parts, you can now rotate it to its liking. So the finger will be more flexible, the movement. But in my case of animation, I didn't need to do that because the movement will not too extreme. It will be just move a little bit. That's why I didn't need to separate that much. I mean, just do a little movement like this already consider me to separate the hands in a lot of assets. That's why I don't think I will add more. Unless like if the finger is your center of animation, then yes, you need to animate it in more detail. It's also up to you if you want to make they have like colors on the nail. It's actually easier rather than normal nail actually. Okay, I just want to try, see if I need to fix some shape. Then we need to make the back sleeve. So new folder, name it back sleeve. Okay, now all the aspects of the pen is done. We will continue to the inputting the base color. Save. Now, as you can see, the arrangement is still really wrong. And I also do a fatal move, which I supposed to fill the base color in contrast color, but I end up forgetting it and just put the same color. Now I cannot see if there is something that bleed out. Now we need to recheck it manually. Let me fix the arrangement first. Okay, now we got the correct position. You can see here the sample. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna coloring it again like normally, like before. Okay, now as you can see here, the asset of the arm is done. So let me show you what I've done with the hand one by one. Okay. Now this is the back sleeve. There is line art and base color. Upper arm, line art, base color. As you can see here, there is still like the arm part that's covered by the front sleeves haven't fully colored. And we want to color it fully just for precautions. Even though probably the very base arm will not show, but I always say it is better safe than sorry. I will also recheck all my layer again one by one after this to make sure all colored well. This is the upper arm, line art, and base color. The front sleeve, there is these blue strips, line art and base color. Now as you can see, the border between the front and back sleeve is not, is not smooth enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna the base color and then we are just gonna smooth the border a little bit. You can use brush too if you want. Just gonna use this smudge tool, my favorite blur tool. Just gonna smudge it. Okay, like this. And now we can see uh the result is far better. Let me just drag it up now. It looks more blended and less awkward than before. Put it like this. Fix the corner a little bit. Okay. We will also make the back parts have just gonna add this to match the front color. So as you can see here, it will be more blended. Then I will color the line up too. We'll just gonna try to retouch it too so it can blend more. Okay, like this. So now it looks more blended. Nice. Okay, let's go to the other part. Now you can see the shape of the palm is weird, but it will make sense later when we animate it. Now what I want to do is the same with the sleeves. I want to like um you can see soften the edge again. Something like this. Okay. That way when it's moving, then you can see it looks less awkward than before. The same thing with all the hands. We want to make the border smoother. I will just use soft eraser in here. and just coloring. So in the case of line art like this, I prefer to coloring it, but make it have like this soft gradient rather than just color it in transformation like this, because it will be look awkward when animated, so rather make it soft. Same with this part, we also want to, I will just delete it with soft eraser and coloring the line art a little bit so it looks more connected like this. Okay, good. Okay, as you can see in these parts, there is something bleeding out, so I'm just gonna delete it like this. Okay, it's my fault because I didn't use contrast color when doing the base color. So there is a lot of case in bleeding out. Okay, just gonna color little bit. This part too, just gonna delete it. The line art too, just delete a little. Okay, something like this. I think I'm gonna add something. I'm gonna add more. Of course, the shape of the ring seems wrong, like it doesn't supposed to be like this. But as I mentioned before, I prefer to make it less distorted first and then we can just adjust it for later. Because I didn't separate my finger to details, like I'm not separating it for its segments. That's why I need to make sure I provide enough bleed for my later animation. Like actually, if you want to make the results far better, I think we should separate these parts and these parts. But I think for my the animation I imagine for now doesn't really need. We can just maximize it with one part only. It is okay. I think just in case if we end up need to separate it, it will be also a good example to you if I show if we can like adjust the finished drawing to be separated again in After Effects. Because as I mentioned before, each drawing will need you to rethink again what is the most efficient move to make it. So every drawing will be have a unique asset separation. So just gonna soften the color a little bit like this, okay? The finger is done. The hand is done too. Something like this. Let's turning on our layer of it to see. Okay, all the asset left is the chain in here. So, in the case of the chain like this, rather than provide it already bending, okay, so I'm planning to just provide it the assets like this, and then we can just adjust the shape later for the animation, I mean. And there is two type of chain, right? So I will this. Yep. So this is will be our chain animation, our chain asset, and I will not provide the assets like this. Instead, I will just provide it straight like this, and I will adjust the shape on After Effects instead. Okay, now we got all of our assets. We got the chain, we got the hand. Oh, let me put this again on the sketch asset. Yep, we already got our asset. Now after finish drawing all of it, we can start retouching the parts in more detail, because sometimes you can only know once you finish all of it and look at the overall balance. What I want to do now are I will fixing the assets until I satisfied with the quality. Basically add more coloring details and make sure it is not messy anymore. I want to fix like the hand, the hair, and I also want to separate the lips. So yes, we will start recoloring it again, retouching one by one. What I'm showing to you right now isn't really crucial to our animation process, since I only repainting and refining each of the assets again by adding new layer above the line art and covering it with more details and color, just to make sure I got the look that I want. So you can see here I'm also retouching the belt, like putting some color on it like this. Let me hide. So I'm just like rendering it again, adding more layer, and like I'm trying to close the parts that haven't colored yet, and just like it. So you can see here I'm also retouching the belt, like putting some color on it like this. Let me hide. So I'm just like rendering it again, adding more layer, and like I'm trying to close the parts that haven't colored yet, and just like retouching it. Like for the body, I will also add some color like this. So you can see I also already closed the gap for the neck. And like for other example, You can see this part haven't colored yet, right? So we want to make sure it's covered properly. Like this. I know there's a big possibility that part isn't showing anyway, but I think it is still better if we make sure assets are prepared tidily. So I'm just gonna re-render all of the parts just to make sure it looks good. I turn on the body, okay. I like to just like covering the line art. So this will be render line art. I'm just gonna render it on the line art layer, so we don't need to add more new ones. It's just detailing.
So I think I will just render it on the, you know, line art layer rather than making new one. Just gonna retouching there. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna merge this line art and the lips. And then that way I can easier to just make like this. Okay, and then cut and then paste. Now I'm gonna repair it. Something like this. So it will be upper lip. Okay, as you can see, the coloring still really raw. That's what we want to retouch. Like, make sure it's connected like this. Fix the color. Okay, it one's correct. This correct. So I'm gonna clip it mask again. For the back teeth, I can just lower again saturation. Okay, like this. And like this, like this. Okay, now I see some problem. Just this part is bleeding out. I'm gonna fix it. Okay. Retouch it little by little. Make sure it's blend out. There is no spot that we forget to color. Okay, I now want to retouch the hair. I think I will also retouch the head a little bit. Now I want to render the hair. Let's start one by one. I think I will start from the back hair. Let's hide the other layer. So we can just retouch it like this. You can see if you look at the inside, there is still a lot of like parts that need to be retouched. And we need to make sure it's clean too. Just make sure it's connected. So I know some of these parts probably will not shown, but I think it's still better to make sure it's clean. Okay, just want to make sure that there is no misunderstanding between us. Later, when we finish drawing the assets, and before we import the drawing files to After Effects, we will merge all the each folder, each assets to one layer instead. So in the case, for example, middle finger folder, it is not like we import the drawing files that still separated into the line art, the base color, and the repainting layer. No, it will be not like that. Instead, we will just merge the folder into one middle finger assets layer. And the merging process later will be done in our next step, which is assets preparation, the one that I will do in Photoshop instead. But right now, the process will just purely drawing. So I didn't merge any layer. We'll just let it raw for now.
With this, we officially done on drawing our assets. Yay! But before we continue on the next progress, I will add one more video to review the assets we just made. I will show and explain all the assets layer one by one. Okay, that's all. See you on the next one. Bye!